The video game industry moves fast, but we move faster. This is the Turbo Button Show with Darien and Jacob.
Hello and welcome to the Turbo Button Show for February 28, 2017.
Darien knew that already. He just wanted to check his watch.
It was
look all officially.
It's the last day of February this year, which
no leap day this year.
yeah, I really
So did you enjoy your day off yesterday?
day off.
Yeah, we talked about Hearthstone without you, man.
Oh, Hearthstone, I don't care about that.
All right, so what are we talking about then? If we're
We're
not
gonna
talking about Hearthstone, what are we talking about?
We're talking about what Nintendo revealed or their Nintendo Indie thing, like the whole list.
Nindie?
Yeah, they're Nindies and
Kind of sounds like 90s.
how much they love
Only
their
Nindies
garbage.
kids will remember this.
Wait, did I just say that, Jacob? Did I just say that Nintendo loves their garbage?
Whoa. Darien, he's got this weird thing against indie games.
I don't like them. I just don't. But I'll report on them. A lot of indie games are quite bad, to be honest. As Jacob's just
Comment below
having
how idiotic Darien is. So we're just going to go over, because Nintendo basically, they didn't announce anything new. They just wanted to show off all the indie devs they're working with.
Yeah.
So why don't we just go through a list of them and say if they're good games so far from what we've seen, if they're bad games, whatever. Nice, quick, rapid fire. Should be fun.
I've got their list on my phone right now, so I'm just going to go over some of them. We'll do what we're going to do. So we got to look at Rogue Trooper Redux.
Explain.
I really didn't pay attention to that.
We're off to a good start.
It just didn't interest me. Didn't look very interesting.
Okay. Wow. Thanks.
Um,
Not even starting with the big stuff.
Unbox Newbie's Adventure.
Tell me about it.
It's an adventure game.
Thanks. Next.
The Fall, Part 2, Unbound.
Don't have much experience with this one, and Nintendo really didn't show much off about it, so I can't really speak on it.
It's a sequel, I guess.
It's a sequel to something. Next.
Ocean Horn, Monsters of Uncharted Seas. Or I don't even know, because like this image is so low res.
Once again, not that much out there about this one.
It's actually it was a mobile game that they're porting it over to the Switch. And
what did it play like?
like Legend of Zelda.
Oh.
It was that game. I mean,
I thought that was a Steam Greenlight thing.
I think it was on there. I don't even know, but it originally was on mobile.
All right. Well, what was next?
Oh, Ocean Horn is pretty successful, and I've heard it's pretty good, but
We'll see.
Kingdom 2 Crowns.
I know this game was available on PC before. It's some sort of co-op game. I've never played it, but I hear it's really good.
Kingdom, I don't care about kingdoms. Treasure Knots.
Treasure Knots? Astronauts, but treasure? Is that
See,
treasure?
I see something with indie developers, though. They love using like the prefixes like not and astronaut.
That's a suffix, yo.
Suffix.
Not a prefix. Prefix come in the beginning. Get your
Nautical
research together, man.
nonsense.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
Shut up.
Oh.
We have Thumper, which sounds like a very excited rabbit ready to make more rabbits.
From Bambi?
Yeah. Graceful Explosion Machine.
These are quality reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Ironic title, always good in the indie sphere.
Indies kind of remind me of like video game hipsters.
That's what they are, dude.
Oh,
What's next?
they have man buns.
What's next?
Pen Kapoo. Yeah, Pen.
I'm lost on that one.
It's got some weird art style to it. Side scrolly. Doesn't interest me.
Next.
Ukulele. I wouldn't really even consider that an indie developed game, but like
Is on paper, but
it's the old Rare developers.
yeah.
It's not really an independent game.
It is an independent studio, but come on, man. Like
The skill set there is an indie skill set.
And they've got plenty of resources and plenty of budget, so whatever. I mean, Ukulele is going to be awesome regardless.
Yeah, I plan on picking that one up.
I'm quite excited for it. It's definitely I'd be think it's fair to say that this is going to be the most expensive game on the list. Like
Yeah.
I think it's $40 retail.
I think so.
But I'm excited.
Yeah. Wargroove,
We're groovy.
I guess. Dandara. Can we please get some pronunciations on these things? It's everything so weird. Didn't see much of that one.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for you to get to the real fun stuff, the stuff I know about.
Wonder Boy, the Dragon's Trap.
What is that?
I'm not sure.
Come on, man. You're supposed to do your research. Jeez, man.
I did, but I didn't really.
Some of these we really didn't. We just got logos, and Nintendo's like, yeah, this thing's going to be on there. And I'm sure a few of them existed on mobile or whatnot before, but there are a lot of games to go through.
Right.
Next.
Away. I can't read the rest of it because I didn't get a formal list. I wasn't able to find a formal list, but I'm using an image that Nintendo released on their own press release.
Well, then why don't we have this one go away? Next.
Portal Knights.
That's a good game. That I know. It's a Steam game from last year that was absolutely incredible. A little bit of Minecraft, a little bit of Legend of Zelda, a little bit of Diablo, a little bit of everything, and it's just wonderful with a really unique art style. See? Quick review. Next.
State of Mind. I think it's a game that describes things from the mind.
I think it's a game about brains that control their own states. Alabama, Massachusetts.
We didn't get much information on all of these. They just kind of had a little reel of them and stuff, and I didn't catch much of it this morning.
Next.
Shakedown Hawaii.
Whew. Now we're getting to the big hitters, man.
Oh.
You ever play Retro City Rampage?
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
It was honestly kind of boring to me.
But also awesome just because of what it was.
The history of it is interesting, but the game itself doesn't engross me.
This looks like, honestly, because this is a spiritual successor to Retro City Rampage, made by the same dude. And it looks like it's Retro City Rampage on cocaine. It looks like they took the standard Retro City Rampage, gameplay and engine, and they're like, yeah, we're going to turn this into an open world shoot 'em up.
Well,
it looks awesome. You get giant napalm flamethrowers and stuff, and it looks completely awesome, and I'm so excited to play it. I wasn't even that big of a fan of Retro City Rampage. I thought it was good, but this looks so cool.
Right.
If I had one criticism with Retro City Rampages, it's that it wasn't over the top enough.
They're trying to do that. I want to be an 8-bit NES version of Grand Theft Auto.
Mm-hmm. And this is, hey, we're going to satirize Grand Theft Auto, but also make this the most cool 80s-styled, crazy, guns everywhere. It's Contra Grand Theft Auto.
Okay. Then we have a game called Flipping Death.
Ooh, is that the one I'm thinking of? Is that the one with the
Big Grim Reaper dude?
Yeah. So that game I saw a couple screenshots of. The art style is really unique. And, saying that about indie games is, every indie game. There are so many that are just like, hey, here's an art style that's never been done before. But the way I'd describe the art style of this game is you take a Tim Burton movie, The Nightmare Before Christmas, or especially the one that really resembled was The Corpse Bride. And then you take every single color that was dark and gloomy and replace it with the most neon, colorful thing you can find.
Okay.
And I don't know, can't really speak on the gameplay, but it looks really pretty.
I'm just kind of,
And that's 60% of indie games, looking really pretty.
Yeah.
Next.
Fast RMX, which that's just Fast Racing Neo, just repackaged and remixed for the Switch. You haven't heard of that? It's like an F-Zero game. It looks pretty.
They're like, hey, if Nintendo's not going to make one.
It's one of those things that it has its own unique thing to it, where you're switching colors on your ship so that you can get boost off of these colored strip things.
Mm-hmm.
The game's pretty cool, but it doesn't excite me because I want F-Zero and this is not F-Zero.
It's close, but not quite there.
No, it's not. It doesn't feel as satisfying to control. Really, it doesn't. my opinion, but I'll probably pick it up day one because it's supposed to be a launch title. Then we have a game called The Escapists 2.
The Escapist was a co-op like escape game. I mean, escapist, escape, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I remember getting quite good reviews.
I don't remember much. Didn't see much.
I distinctly remember the art style, but I've never played it.
Right.
It's very 8-bit-y with a very distinct character design.
All right. Christian will be bursting through the door any moment. Shovel Knight Treasure Trove.
Shovel Knight.
More
Shovel
like,
Knight.
I don't really care.
No.
It's
But Shovel Knight's cool.
I know.
But also, like, not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But I can really appreciate Shovel Knight, and Shovel Knight fans will be very happy to have anything with Shovel Knight in it.
Right. We have Pocket Rumble.
That's that new fighting game, isn't it?
I think so.
It's like a 2D fighting game that I don't know how to explain it, but it doesn't remind me of other like modern 2D fighting games. It's almost like they're like, hey, we're going to design a fighting game using the color palette and design of a Super Nintendo that runs on a Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
It's funky, but it looks kind of fun. And it's nice seeing, because how often do we say indie fighting games?
Not very often. Most of the time, indie developers, they just try to port fighting games that already exist to systems that they don't belong on. Which, interesting.
You know,
but
Smash Bros. On the original Game Boy.
yeah.
That happened. Next.
I just want to say, let's fly through a few of these because I didn't really see much. Splasher. Okay. Rive.
I've heard of it, but I don't remember much about it.
Then there's Sue and the Quest for Meaning.
Hmm.
Rhyme. That one's pretty exciting, I guess.
He sounds so enthused.
Cave Story.
Wow, there's a shocker.
That's like on everything now.
Blowing me away that Cave Story is going to be on the Switch.
Then we have Enter the Gungeon, which Jason will get a load of yeehaw off of.
Me too. It's awesome. I love Enter the Gungeon. It's bullet hell roguelike. Like, why wouldn't you love it?
SteamWorld Dig 2.
Which, that's kind of exciting. I played a little bit of SteamWorld Dig.
I honestly didn't really think it was much of an indie title until like
Oh, it's
once
definitely.
you realize it. But
randomly generated dungeony kind of stuff. It's hard. It's a hard game to describe, isn't it?
Yeah, I've only played a little bit of it. Didn't really care much for it, but it's interesting. Shovel Knight, Spectre of Torment, another one that gets Christian to burst through the door. Okay, here's a game I'm actually thinking about getting.
Mm-hmm.
Snake Pass.
Snake Pass. I was really excited for this one.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited because you don't get games where you get to play as snakes and it looks really good. Like it just does.
It's a 3-dimensional puzzle platformer where you play as a snake, and it's all snake physics based.
Yep, and you have a little bird that carries you around and helps you out.
I would love to remember the name of the game, but I don't. I really like games where you have to do physics-based like platforming, but it's based off of something you don't get as a normal person. And there was another title, it was an N64 game. I believe it was made by Insomniac. That is the first like physics-based platformer, and the big concept was you were a dude who was basically on a unicycle, but it was like a part of his body. And that drastically changed how the game played. And this reminds me kind of that concept.
All right, then we have Overcooked. Looks pretty crazy, but
This is the exact type of thing we need on the Switch. Fun, hectic multiplayer games. There are plenty of games it reminds me of, but not one I can like name in particular. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That being said, great party game by the sounds of it.
right. Then we have the next Penelope. Didn't really see much of this one. It's one of the small images on the list. Like
one of those like, oh, here's this thing.
Like Nintendo's like, it's here, but we don't care much.
Okay.
Mutant Mudds, which came out on 3DS originally, and it's been ported to like everything.
And what is it?
Platformer where you can go into the foreground, background, middle ground. It was interesting when it came out for the 3DS, but like I just don't see the appeal anymore. or I just don't see the appeal myself because I don't really like platformers, but some people do, and they're in charge of making some really great third-person or first-person shooters on the DS.
Only Nindie's kids will remember this.
Yep.
Next.
Battle Chef Brigade.
I'm sorry, what?
Battle Chef Brigade.
Okay. All right.
The Jackbox Party Pack 3.
Oh, that's an indie game? What?
That's what I'm thinking. Because
That can't be an indie game. And besides, even if it is, which that seems so wrong that it is, but maybe, that's on too many things already, man. That's not exciting. Come on, Nintendo.
Stardew Valley.
Stardew Valley's awesome, but you should only play it on Steam.
Maybe they'll have a version. Maybe you can play it in handheld version. It gives you all your PC controls that people love because playing it on consoles is a mess.
I doubt it. And you don't get mod support, which is a big thing in Stardew Valley. But they did say that Stardew Valley's Switch port will be the first console port to support multiplayer.
But the thing with the Switch is Nintendo didn't knock down anybody for saying, "Hey, you can't add mod support for your games."
But
Because
we haven't heard anything saying positive.
I
Really.
know. Early on, Bethesda said that when they're going to be bringing games, they'd say like, "Yeah, they didn't knock away the mod support from certain games, but like we don't have a definitive yes."
With 32 gigs of internal storage.
micro SDs, that's how you put it on.
No thanks.
Who knows?
But I mean, it's better to have it than not have it, I guess.
Right. Then we have Has Been Heroes. Okay. Tumble Seed, a roly roguelike.
That sounds awesome just by name. Like some games, you're just sold by the name. That sounds great.
We have Human Resource Machine.
So
Kind of creepy looking.
HRM. Yo, I'm going to report you to the human resource machine.
Blaster Master.
Don't you mean Blaster Master Zero?
I think so.
Yeah, it's Zero. So the Blaster Master, I really want to talk about this one because Christian and I, when we both saw it, we're just like, oh, Blaster Master was an NES game. I want to say the original was made by Capcom.
I can't tell you.
Could be wrong, but I swear it was Capcom. And it was absolutely amazing. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Anyways, it was an amazing game. Absolutely super fun title. It's like a platformer, but more focused on shooting and exploration with your dude turning into like different vehicles.
Or you go into vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely cool. Very, very awesome.
All right, let's go on. You're not giving reviews to everything.
And this is basically a prequel to that using the entire same engine and same graphics and in NES style and looks super amazing. And let's go.
The Binding of Isaac plus Afterbirth. That sounds gross.
I mean, like, it's a cool game, but...
Yeah, but that's on everything nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimate Chicken Horse. Okay.
Random equals funny, yo.
What?
Random equals funny, totally. Next.
Little Inferno.
I've heard of that one.
NBA Playgrounds. Okay.
Okay.
1001 Spikes. Okay.
Actually, that was one that we saw today. I saw that. It's like a game where you do a whole bunch. It's Super Meat Boy mixed with I Want to Be the Guy. Looks all right.
Zombie Vikings. More with the zombies.
Zombies and game design go so well together, and we're definitely not sick of them.
Mr. Shifty.
Mr. Shifty. We saw that one. I saw that one today. What did it remind me of?
It's an indie game. Let's go.
It's a Oh, that's right. It's Hotline Miami. Exactly. It's straight up a Hotline Miami knockoff.
Towerfall Ascension.
I've heard of that.
Redout.
But I don't remember much. Nope.
Yeah.
Next.
Runner 3.
Bit Trip. Christian's super happy about that. Good series. Kind of hard though.
I cannot read what this is. I'm using all of their like logos and stuff, and I cannot read what this text is supposed to be.
So insert game here. Great
like,
game. I love that one.
It's pink and green. It's something voicer. I don't know. But if you can't read what their title is,
oops.
well.
Next.
Duck Game. I've actually played that. It's pretty entertaining, but not for very long.
Mm-hmm. Next.
I might get it. World of Goo. Jacob's Bedroom.
Whoa, that's wrong, man. But World of Goo is a pretty fun game. I believe it originally was WiiWare.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's been on a whole bunch of stuff since then.
Toe Jam and Earl Back in the Groove.
That makes sense. It's Toe Jam and Earl again.
Space Dave, which I believe is a Whoa Dave sequel or something. Which Whoa Dave was a Atari-like game. Very simple, kind of bad.
This is news to me. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Space Dave, I didn't pay
Space
attention.
Dave Coast to Coast. Next.
That's what happens when you put my dad in a rocket ship.
Next.
Terraria.
I'm sorry. What did you just say?
Terraria.
Don't you mean Terraria?
You like your rare files, your RAR files, Terraria.
It's Terraria, like terrain.
GIF.
Yo, no, man, you're hurting me. Come on.
Potatoes, tomatoes. I don't know.
Terraria is awesome, but not a surprise there. It's available on too many things. PS3, PS4, the PS Vita, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PC,
get over it.
tablets.
Okay, we need to wrap this up.
Mm-hmm.
Another one I can't read its thing because it's so clustery.
So professional. Next.
Saying Gunner, I don't even know. Monster Boy, and then there's some subtext that I can't read.
Mm-hmm. Next.
Celeste,
Next.
Celesti, I don't
Just keep going. Rapid fire, yo.
Perception.
Next.
Perception. I can't read that one either.
Next.
Hover.
Next.
Little.
Next.
It'll do.
Next.
Do. That's it.
Wow, that's it?
Yeah. It'll do.
Okay, so in short, our thoughts on this? Not very many of those were super exciting.
There's a lot of them, but how many of these are going to be on launch day / soon?
And how many of them are already available on other systems? And how many of them that aren't out yet will be available on other systems at launch?
I know. Will this be a reason to buy the Nintendo Switch? I don't think so.
No, but
Since Snake Pass is actually pretty much finished development for PS4, and they quickly ported it over to Switch, which that's actually kind of nice. That's actually good news, saying you can take some developers and say, hey, we can take a PS4 game and put it on Switch super quick and easy.
I just need confirmation that Broforce is going to be on the Switch, and then I'll be happy. But it's nice to have your indie games, especially with the fact that it's likely going to be a while before we've got quite a robust library of Switch titles. So they're good to have, right?
Yeah.
But nothing too groundbreaking.
I mean, the Switch is going to get a slower start, I feel like, but with these independent developers, I do feel like they'll make it a little less rough to wait for the AAA releases. Because I remember when I got my 3DS, and it was during the trickle period of when we were barely getting any 3DS games, I downloaded some indie games, and it made it less painful, but I got bored with them.
Now let's hope a lot of those indie games that were on the Vita get ports.
Yeah, let's just hope that all the Vita games.
Yep, every single game ever released for the Vita, including Uncharted, Golden Abyss.
Gravity Rush.
Yep, all that. Every single Vita game must be on the Switch. In fact, why didn't they just make it backwards compatible with the Vita?
Yeah, let's just... Come on, Nintendo.
Jeez, Nintendo. Jeez, what are you doing, man?
This is... I just can't wait till Thursday night / Friday, because I'm going to midnight release.
Ooh. So, I think we're done.
Yep, I think we're done. So if you like this episode of the Turbo Button Show, you should hit the subscribe button and the bell. What else should they do, Jacob?
They should comment below telling us that we're idiots for not knowing insert game here and what it's about.
Right, but I mean, when we get a small indie reel that doesn't really give much, and I don't care that much about independent developed games.
And if you have any information about one of these games that we didn't cover yet, let us know in the comments.
Yep. And they're the reason why we can never have all the video games due to oversaturation. I'm sorry, that was my little rant.
You're a weirdo. Oh, we're done. Goodbye.
New episodes and other content can be found on TurboButtonShow.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.